After living in Orlando for over 30 years, I'm out. I decided to move out of Orlando. But before I tell you more about that, I wanted to introduce you to Savanna. Savanna's my partner and my daughter, and we work together.
I'm coming out from behind the curtain because I've been in the background writing the scripts and stuff. And I think it's time to, be in the spotlight.
What
do you think?
I think it's time. I think it's past time.
It's about time. It's about time.
We are Team Williams, your Orlando Relocation Experts, mother-daughter duo here in the Orlando, Central Florida area. And I actually moved out of Orlando too about 4 to 5 years ago. And so I'm going to give you insight why I moved out as well.
Tell me, why did you leave Orlando?
Well, originally I moved out to rent somewhere. Orlando's great. Obviously, we are helping people relocate from out of state to the Orlando area. And we've been here for 30 plus years. You've been here for 37?
38, almost 38.
38,
years.
And I've been here my whole life. So not to age myself, but 33 years.
Yep, long time.
And And so I looked elsewhere because of the reason a lot of people look outside of Orlando. There are places, suburbs, areas that have better home prices and you just get more bang for your buck.
That's true.
The median sale price for Orlando is $570,000 about.
Steep.
Compared to other places that are around $375,000 or $390,000, you can get more house, a better quality house with your daughter,
with your daughter too.
With your daughter, yeah. Yeah, you can move in with your kids, of course. But yeah, so what about you? Why did you leave Orlando?
Well, we needed to be on a single story home. So it was really important for us to be on a single story home. And we were in a multi-story before. And so the neighborhood that we were in, everything was multi-story almost. It was very hard to find a single story. And if it was a single story, it was very small, like 1,500, 1,600 square feet. Plus, that 1,500 to 1,600 square feet was going to cost you about $700,000-800,000. So it was a pretty expensive neighborhood, and
great spot though, great location.
Yeah, great location. That was an awesome location, but it just made sense for us to look outside to see if we could find a house that made more sense for us. And we wanted a pool, and we wanted to have a little bit more extras and things like that.
Yard space.
A little bit of yard space and that sort of thing. So we ended up moving about 25 minutes from where we were living before. So not that far, really.
So it's still part of Greater Orlando.
Oh, yeah. It's still definitely part of Greater Orlando. So we can still be your Greater Orlando Relocation Experts.
Yeah. So, there's Orlando City proper, and then there's a bunch of cities and suburbs clustered around Orlando City. And it still makes up Greater Orlando because you're really not we're about 15-20 minutes outside of, I'm about 15-20 minutes away from downtown Orlando. What about you?
I'm about 30 to 35 minutes from downtown Orlando,
so
a little further out.
Still, easy access to get to the restaurants within Orlando. And there's also a lot of where we moved, I would say, is up and coming. There's, they're growing cities. And there was this Latin fusion restaurant that opened up down the road from where I live. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Well, actually, I tried it out already. It was good. Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah, I'm excited to see just where these cities go in terms of development and stuff like that, because there's a lot of happening. There's a lot growing all around it. So it makes sense that they would grow as well.
Yeah, and we had always lived kind of in an urban area, ever since we lived in Central Florida. We've lived, at first we lived in the Dr. Phillips area.
Yeah.
And then when Savanna was really young, we moved to College Park, which is also urban. It's downtown. It's a beautiful area.
It's about 5-10 minutes away from downtown Orlando.
Yeah.
But it's still very suburban. And that's kind of what the cool thing is about Orlando. I don't know if this is true for other cities where you can get to downtown, but you can also get to a quiet neighborhood pretty quickly from downtown. And so
And
Yeah.
Savannah lived in College Park pretty much her whole growing up years. So all of her, yeah, until she went to high school. Well, actually, all the way through high school, you lived in College Park too.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's
Yeah.
almost like a small town charm. That it's like in the big, it's in the urban area, but it's kind of a small town feel.
It's got really cute historic mid-century. Actually, there's mid-century houses. There's houses built in the 1920s all the way, College Park has brand new construction too. So it's an eclectic neighborhood that's gotten more and more beautiful over time. And yeah, that's a neighborhood in Orlando. And would really love to help more people purchase houses there because I think it's a great neighborhood that's not talked about enough. Because earlier this year I helped someone purchase a house there and she had not heard of it. And when I introduced her to College Park, she fell in love with it. It's very walkable. There's the main road, Edgewater Drive, that runs through the neighborhood, and it's full of restaurants and shops and like local places. And yeah, it's a great place. Yeah. Not to go too much on a tangent about College Park.
Yeah, so right, but there's a lot of great areas in the urban areas, but then like what Savanna and I did, we moved just a little bit further out to get a little bit more bang for your buck and also still be accessible. So like tonight I'm going to a show downtown and it's 30 minutes away.
The jazz show, right?
Yeah, it's a jazz show downtown. So, we're not just staying out Winter Garden and Clearmont and some of the areas like that we do tend to serve a lot of clients in. That is still for me only like 35, 40 minutes away. Yeah. So that didn't change much for me.
Yeah, that's awesome because you're like where we are, we chose areas that are close to major roads and highways because as realtors, of course, we drive a lot. So it's much better to be closer to those roads. And if you have a commute, we know this place like the back of our hand.
Yeah, for sure. We've been here so long. Which, by the way, if you haven't ever downloaded our Orlando Relocation Guide, that is a great resource. And you can find that in the description box. Just click that link. Anyways, you can always feel free to call us, right?
Yes, exactly. And yeah, the Orlando Relocation Guide, even if you're just getting familiar with Orlando, or if you really have Orlando in your sights, it's a great guide to help you get more familiar with, the food scene, the culture, and also the cities and all the areas of Greater Orlando. So it's definitely worth checking out and downloading.
Yeah, we talk about different suburbs in there and things like that. So it's not just Orlando. We kind of cover a lot of areas in that. For you, what is the takeaway? Well, yes, we left Orlando and it feels weird, but how does that change?
We're your Orlando relocation experts who don't live in Orlando. So it's kind of funny, but it's Greater Orlando. Like we said, it's not technically in Orlando City, but it's part of the sprawling, area that is Orlando.
Yes. And just to touch on, I know, Savanna, you look at a lot of statistics and things like that when we're doing our videos and everything. She's the behind the scenes person that always does all the research and gets all the data together for us for the videos. And I know recently we were kind of talking about the rates and how that affects the market here in Orlando. Because I don't know about you, but I always hear people say, oh, is the market's getting ready to crash in Orlando and that sort of thing. But with rates coming down a little bit, what do you see for Orlando?
I don't see any chance of the market crashing with rates coming down because, of course, people are going to, as people are more, better qualified and can, purchase more with the rates coming down, they're going to be entering the market. So there's going to be more competition among buyers. I do think right now there is a market slowdown sort of everywhere, based on my research of other markets around the US. Now is actually a great time to buy. There's pros and cons to every time in history to purchase. But of course, what we tell people, because it's true, is that, it's better to focus on what financially makes sense to you. So if these rates right now make sense to you, if you're seeing a monthly payment that makes sense to you and your budget, then now may be a good time to buy, right?
Yeah, I agree. And also, because homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer, some sellers are more willing to negotiate and they're willing to give you closing cost fees or negotiate on the price and that sort of thing. So we're seeing a lot of that. And it's just, like Savanna said, it has to be right for you. It has to be the right timing. But I see the market right now as an opportunity. Like I said, I just bought a house in this market that everybody says is the downturn market.
Yeah.
And I sold my house. As a matter of fact, I sold my house in one day. I just, we marketed it correctly, we
Yeah.
priced it correctly, and all the stars aligned, and it was very fortunate. I feel
Yeah.
very thankful for that. But you know, there's a lot of strategy that we can bring to the table for you. So if you're looking in the Orlando area, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah, and another thing is regarding the rates, because since you
Oh, yeah.
said, you know, sellers are more willing to negotiate now, you can ask for a seller concession to help you buy down the rate.
Yep.
You know, there's a couple different ways you can do it. And so, you know, even if the rates are still too high in your eyes right now, and it's still the monthly payment is still, you know, too elevated for you, it's possible for you to buy this rate buy down, you know, with the help of a seller concession, you know,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So,
And
yeah.
in Florida, we have Hometown Heroes, which is not available in all states. But Savannah, you just got somebody under contract with Hometown Heroes,
Yes.
right? Which is
Yeah, it's a grant program. It's a down payment assistance program. You do have to pay the down payment back when you sell your house, but it's a way to help you purchase now, so that way you can have the ability to build equity and then, you know, sell later. But yeah, it's a great program. There are careers and, you know, specific fields and careers that are eligible, but there's actually a lot of, it's not just you know,
nurses and
firefighters. There are other people in the health field that can qualify
school
too.
teachers.
There's school teachers, childcare workers, and
It's a great program too.
So with this program, my client was actually able to bring very little to, I mean, I'm talking probably just hundreds.
I think you said they were getting money back at the closing.
I think they're
too.
getting a little bit back. It's an estimate. The lender's estimate of the closing costs, it's just an estimate. So it could be a little bit more or a little bit less, but it's very close to zero.
It's nice.
What they're bringing to the table because of Hometown Heroes and because they're getting a concession from the seller.
Yeah. So it's great. There's a lot of tools out there that we can help you with. So let us know if we can be of assistance. Anything else we need to tell them today?
Yeah. And I mean, if you like this format, if you want to see us talking together more, feel free to say so in the comments. And we do have videos about areas of Orlando. So if you are interested in that, subscribe to the channel. And we hope you found this video helpful.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us today. Bye-bye now.
Have a great day. Bye.